Hello everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Russian campaign. We have just turned to an empire and we're continuing our wars against the many hordes that are at war with us. Except we've taken the last province of Nogais, so I shall have 5-year peace with them paying tribute to us. Okay, we can now build barracks, that's marvellous. Let's have one in the capital. Sorry, the old capital. Our capital is now in St. Petersburg, my mistake. Okay, so whilst these colonies are cooking, I shall get some more going at the same time. Ah, I see Great Britain has formed. So in the last episode we did gain a core on Finland. That will be removed on 1576. They last, cores in non-culture groups do last 50 years before they're removed. If they're of a similar culture, then they do last forever. Finland are currently allied with Trier. So I think it could be time for another war. What do we have here? 3 infantry, 4 cavalry. I'll bring up this army to reinforce them. And that should be more than enough to deal with Finland. Okay, continue pursuing into Kalmykia. Again, there's no colonisation attempts, no peace deal between them and the Horde. So I am limited what I can do towards the south. Oh, that's a very good stability advisor. However, I'm happy with what we have at the moment. Finland only have 7,000 troops at the moment, so I'm going to take this opportunity to declare war now. So Finland, Trier, and where is Alsace? Alsatia, here. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to give these guys my tremendously fantastic general. Check that out. And we're just heading to Viborg and starts besieging. We have an army on the way in case we end up in trouble, but we should be fine. We're Russia. We can take on anybody. Okay, more advisors. I don't care. Kazakh have appeared. That's somewhat worrying. We did a fairly decent job of beating them last time, however. Ufa 6, 6, 13. Okay, I'll send you guys back to Ufa. I'll assign this general to the army. It's a bit silly to fight without one. Okay, Finland has been taken care of, as have these rebels. So these Kazakh troops are heading to Ufa, so we should meet there. Okay, once this army has reached Oosterbotten, I shall split them in half and send them down to Finland. Seems they're building some troops pretty quickly. I've no idea how the AI manages to build them so quick, but I'll just send them a bit of help. They definitely shouldn't need it, though. I'd like to see what we can get from them. Okay, so we're basically putting down any troops that Finland try to build and waiting for these sieges to finish. War exhaustion is still decreasing, albeit very slowly. And I'm forgetting to send colonists. Okay, that's 3 new colonies on the go at once. I do wish this situation would resolve itself, one way or the other. I'm a bit nervous to declare war on them whilst the Ottomans are the defender of the Muslim faith. Oop, lots of advisors. Kazan is the largest province, so I'll send the most recent colonist there to speed up the defection. Sale of offices. The Crown often resorted to short-term cash grabs like the sale of government offices. These sales would bring in a lot of revenue, but in the long term, more officials meant more tax revenue siphoned off before it reached the royal treasury. Oh, wow. Okay, so we can gain 1,125 ducats, but we'll be losing 5% national tax for 20 years. Or we could lose 400 and gain prestige. I'm not going to bother doing the maths, I'm just going to be greedy and take the huge lump sum. Basically, I have a loan coming due in a year's time, and I don't want to be in a position where I can't afford to repay it. I shall use that windfall to get some inflation burnt off. Trier expect us to pay 606 ducats. Trier are delusional. what's my mission at the moment? Create a proper fleet. So I'm not interested in building a fleet. That's expensive and pointless. Protect against Austria. Now that is ambitious. I mean, look at Austria at the moment. They can get pretty monstrous even when they have their starting territories. Yeah, 100,000 troops. And these aren't the 100,000 Golden Horde troops. No, no, no. These are troops at Lantex 17. Or to put it another way, they're very scary. What am I doing? I'd completely forgotten about these guys. Silly me. Well, given the huge windfall we've had, it would be pretty silly not to build stuff. Yeah, all these sieges are coming in our favour now. Okay, we've taken the capital. Fantastic. Rebels, not so great. Hardly insurmountable. Idea. Okay, okay. So the decision is between colonial ventures for that extra colonist, National Bank, which will significantly help me getting inflation back under control, or allow me to replace an advisor, or Patron of the Arts, which has some pretty nice events, or Unum Sanctum, because of the casus belli it would give us against most of our enemies. Bill of Rights is another one I definitely want, just due to the fact that there's so many different cultures we'll be having within our country. But really it's between colonial ventures and National Bank. Sorry for the indecision. I'm going to go with National Bank because getting inflation down is going to have a lot of long-term benefits. It's going to make research cheaper, which will speed up our technological progress. We are pretty far behind at the moment, so there's a lot of catching up to do. And, well, we're getting quite a few colonists a year, 2.65. So we should be fine for colonists, I hope. So I'm going to let these armies do a bit of exploring, and then I'll take peace with Nagai. Actually, I should deal with this group pretty quickly, as we do have a colony cooking in Perm. Yep, that's another siege for us. Just the one remaining now. discovered Kipchak. France has declared war on Great Britain. That should be a messy war for both sides. Great. There we go, let's just finish this off. Okay, you can head back to Novgorod. What do I want from Finland? I just noticed I could annex them completely. For 20 infamy though, it would be a pretty crazy move. I think for now, I'm going to take Viborg, force them to become Orthodox, and have them revoke a core. Which means they will be focusing on converting those provinces, which means once I come to annex them at a later date, I will not have to concern myself with having to convert them. And we've just had a decision to become available which allows to go east into Siberia. By the looks of things, it gives a pretty good conquistador and the colonist. I'm not too concerned with that at the moment though. I'll colonise these provinces before I head further east. At least into Horde territory. The question now becomes if I should take part of Kazakh. It would give me a border with the Timurids, but EU3 could be a pretty nice addition. The only concern is that they are of the Kazakh culture or group, which isn't recognised at the moment, so we would have reduced income. I think for now just taking tribute from them would be best and focusing my efforts on the Golden Horde. So I'm losing 116 ducats annually at the moment because we're not minting anything. Which is fine, I was given a huge windfall, we can easily afford that. Well, for 10 years at least. Okay, let's get that loan repaid. Brilliant. That saves us 3 ducats a month from interest. Bulgar, Samara. Let's try again in Mordvar. Or Mordor, as I like to call it. Our commandant has died. Fortunately, we're not short of magistrates. I'm going to take this decision now, before I forget. As our nation grows larger, it becomes much more expensive. Anyway, Commandant. Level 4. Well, that's good. No chance of that wonderful stability gain event happening. But nothing to shake a stick at, as a crazy person would say. Oh, I do wish legitimacy would increase a bit quicker. So we have colonists in Solikamsk, Perm, Kazan, Bulgar, Pensa, Sarato, Mordvar. Samara requires a colonist. Colonial maintenance is very high, which is probably why we're struggling at the moment, but that's fine. We should have a spare general, I believe. Yes. Just pointing out that the land we see here with green lines running through it is land we pretty much have cores on. So once this colonization attempt finishes, Russia will be whole. Don't get the wrong idea, expansion won't be stopping, but whoops, we'll at least have all of the provinces that are rightfully ours. I suppose that's the best way to describe the core system. And that's another colonist, so let's get you sent to Perm. We'll bring you... Oh, sneaky rebels. Bring this group back to Kaffa. Patas we've learned about. Okay, yeah. We've no intention of heading to South America. War with the Ottomans is pretty much guaranteed. I think the kind of mountains here would make a nice natural border. So I will be looking at taking these 4 provinces. However, I don't want to be too distracted with other nations before declaring war on them. They are going to be a very large army. So we have some pretender rebels. Our land tech has increased, which allows us to build weapons manufacturing, which is what I've been heading towards. Most of my economic strategy depends on those factories. We've got a pretty amazing leader here, military 7, administration 8, and yeah, pretender rebels. So I'll call this episode for now, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.